It's 4 o'clock on a Monday, and you know what that means, don't you? It's time for another exciting episode of TAXI TV Live. Ooh, I got a problem going on over here. There we go. Got that problem worked out. Hello, everybody. How are you guys? Good to see you. Welcome to the big show. We are doing today, would you forward this or not? Your Tushy is in the A&R Hot Seat. This is going to be fun. These are always fun. You guys like them. They're educational. People always say that it is easier to judge somebody else's music than your own. And I think that people learn a lot from these. So anyway, hello, Greg Carrozza, who I was just on the phone with a half an hour ago. Good to see you, buddy. I don't know how many of you guys are regular readers of the TAXI newsletter, but we do a member success story thing where we run, 9 or 10 success stories in every issue of the newsletter. And Greg Carrozza sent one in this time that I thought was so good. I was working on that stuff kind of late last night, sitting there at the island in the Laskow family house in the kitchen, and I went, oh, there's Carrozza, and it was a really nice piece. So make sure you check it out. He's got over 1,000 placements now in music in 50 different libraries. So congratulations, Greg. Yeah, baby. And I'm not sure I can pronounce his name. Chinche con Ansiedad. Coming all the way from somewhere, was it in South America, right? Let me see. I don't have time to go find this right now. Anyway, there you go. Hello from Campania, Buenos Aires. So welcome. I don't think we've had anybody from Buenos Aires that I'm aware of. We do get other people from South America. We get people from all over the world. We love waking people up in the middle of the night to watch TAXI TV Live. So as I said, today we are going to do forwards and returns. Would you forward this or not? We're doing 2 separate listings. We are doing one that's an instrumental listing, S250412AG. That is for Reggae Caribbean instrumentals. I'm going to read the listing, and then we'll start listening to some music. And, of course, it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which means my air conditioner automatically goes into eco mode, and I sit here and suffer. But I will adjust that momentarily while the music is playing. The listing read, lots of authentic-sounding Reggae Caribbean instrumentals are needed by an established and well-known independent production music library that pays upfront fees to composers. I like when they do that. That's kind of cool. This excellent company is searching for a range of instrumentals in all tempos in the general stylistic wheelhouse of the following references: Sunsplash by David Arkenstone, Party Time Rhythm. Oh, I get it. It's playing words. Rhythm by Mafia and Fluxy. Love that name. And Stila Sophocol? I can't pronounce it. Too much to play. Quoting the client, we're looking for authentic Reggae Caribbean instrumentals, and live steel drums are a major plus. They need to have an authentic tropical Caribbean feel. Please submit well-crafted Reggae Caribbean instrumentals with an authentic sound and vibrant, culturally infused energy. This company is looking for tracks that have a fun tropical feel with sounds you'd hear in an all-inclusive tropical resort. Yay to the listing writing team. They got the all-inclusive part in there because it could have just been like a regular Marriott or a Hyatt or something. All-inclusive tropical resort on a Caribbean cruise ship. There you go. Sounds like a booze cruise. Your submission should have feel-good motifs, happy melodies, engaging rhythms, and solid arrangements that develop as your piece progresses. Instrumentation in the general ballpark of the references will work best, such as steel drums, guitar, bass, congas, etc. Please ensure that any virtual instruments or samples used are high-quality, genre-appropriate, and sound like they were performed by actual musicians as opposed to robots. Original instrumentals only, no covers. Here's a TAXI tip. Recording a live instrument or playing a MIDI part by hand without snapping it to the grid could help you get that authentic sound this company's looking for. That is a really good tip. You know that a lot of people will use MIDI, snap stuff to the grid. You can take a good sounding sample and play it by hand on your keyboard, and you'll be off just enough that will make that otherwise easily identifiable sample sound more real and less easily identified. Just saying. Get that authentic sound this company's looking for. Those slight imperfections in timing can give the track a more natural human feel. Wow, that is so true. Your submission should be about 2 minutes long, give or take, and have a non-faded button stinger ending. Do not copy the referenced acts or songs in any way, shape, or form. Use them only as a guide for tempo, tone, and overall vibe. Do not submit any material with unauthorized samples of any other artist's music, sounds, or any other form of media. Broadcast quality is needed. They don't accept AI. It's an exclusive buyout deal. You get paid up front. You must own or control your master and copyright. All kind of irrelevant stuff to what we're going to be talking about today is, would you forward this if you were the screener? So I want to say a little something about reggae and Caribbean music. I worked at a place, actually right there behind me, Criteria Studios. That is Studio D. That is the actual room where the Bee Gees recorded a lot of Saturday Night Fever, just so you know. It's where I started my career. That's why I always use their control rooms as my green screen background, because it makes me feel like I'm cheering for the alma mater or something. Anyway, I owe them everything. I wouldn't be here talking to you today if the man who owned that place hadn't given me my first job. He literally started me on my path. So while I worked there 70, mid to late 74, all of 75, and some of 76, then changed over to another studio about 30 miles away. But while I worked there, Bob Marley and the Wailers and other reggae bands would come to Criteria because it was based in Miami, and it was the closest, like, really pro studio with a brand name and a big reputation and tons of gold and platinum records on the wall that was close to the Bahamas and Jamaica. So one time I got asked to cover a session for 3 or 4 days. A friend of mine was the second engineer on it. They asked me to cover him because he was out sick or something. And it was Bob Marley and the Wailers. I can't remember which album it was on. I'd seen them in the hallways and, you know, how are you, good morning kind of stuff, but never worked with them. Those guys showed up. Every member of the band, there were probably 5 or 6 of them, showed up with an Adidas gym bag filled with a leafy substance that had a very pungent odor. And they would bring white bakery paper, like get in a bakery, and roll big, 8-inch, 10-inch long spliffs and smoke them in the control room. It's the only time in my life I can ever remember getting a contact high, just by being in the room. All that said, let's talk about the musical aspect. I was always amazed by how kind of rough that the recordings were. From anything that I heard that came out of studios in Jamaica or the Bahamas, the true giants of reggae had very, very rough recordings. The studios in the Caribbean were not known for being well maintained or don't look green to me. They weren't well maintained. They didn't have great equipment. They had lots of funky switches and knobs and faders and stuff. So the stuff would come into Criteria, and we'd throw the 16-track or the 24-track up on the tape machine, listen to it, and if you went track by track, you'd just be going, whoa, baby. And then you pull it all together, and somehow it sounded magical. So I have this kind of worldview of tropical music that it is, or I guess reggae in particular, and other forms of Caribbean music, that it always sounds kind of raggedy and not slick. So just saying, I don't know. I'm going to listen to this stuff today. Some of it, is there a list? Actually, Doug Cox, I've looked at like All Music and places like that. A lot of times when you just work on a record for 3 days, you don't get a credit. There are almost every year something else shows up somewhere that I've got a credit on. The most recent, by the way, I don't know if I told you guys this, Neil Young's new record that came out on February 14th is called Oceanside Countryside, and I've got credits on 5 or 6 of the songs on that album that I worked on at Triad Recording after I left Criteria with Neil Young. I worked with Neil with Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, Criteria, and then worked with Neil Young solo about a year and a half later at Triad. And should I go get it? I will. Don't go away. I promise I will be right back. And then we'll get down to business. I know that those of you who were around during the quarantini happy hours have seen this before. Oh, I grabbed the wrong reel. Sorry. Okay, so worked with Neil Young on and off for the better part of a year. Most of the time, almost the entire time, it was just Neil, myself, my assistant, Paul Kaminsky. Some of that stuff, it was all just Neil playing various instruments, but no drums, no bass. Sometimes keyboard, sometimes vibraphone, all the time acoustic guitars. So, no, I don't get, engineers never get residuals. Anyway, we recorded the stuff. Some of it went on the album Comes a Time, including the song Comes a Time, and got overdubbed on stuff. Jump ahead many, 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 many years later. My wife and I were cleaning out the garage in our California house, and I saw this old funky suitcase from the 70s that belonged to my first wife back in like the mid-70s. And so I opened it up, and I found this. And I went, New York safety. Why would I have a safety, a reel-to-reel safety in this suitcase sitting in this 100-degree garage from January 4th, 1978? And then I realized, oh, look at that. It says Neil Young. So I've got a cassette of these mixes. This was Neil and I getting ready to leave the studio one night. And I said, we should do just a quick pass of rough mixes of this stuff. And he goes, yeah, sure, why not? So I did, I don't know, probably like 15 to 30 minutes on each song. I think there were half a dozen songs, blah, blah, blah. I ran the mix to 2 machines simultaneously. I gave him a 1/4 inch. I took a 1/4 inch. It shows up in my garage in Agoura, California. I don't know, maybe 2008 or something like that. Turns out that the new album that just came out on Valentine's Day, Countryside, Oceanside, is this. The countryside of the record is this. It's the exact mixes. I've listened to it, and it's absolutely that. So there you go. Maybe your screeners might miss something great. What do you have to say about this? Now is not the time to have the discussion because we got a show to do. Let's get on with it, but feel free to email headscreener@taxi.com, and he will check the screener's work. So anyway, this first listing, you got it. Reggae music, blah, blah, blah. Let's start by listening to the first song. Come on, start up, little computer. There we go. Okay, let's have a listen. To Boonoonoonoos. I can't even pronounce the name of the song, but let's have a listen to it anyway. Here we go. And you guys listen, tell me if you would forward this or would return it if you were the screener. Okay, whoops. Would you forward or return? Type in an F for a forward, R for return. Let's see how you guys did compared to the screener. In answer to your question, Nico, lots of authentic sounding reggae Caribbean instrumentals needed by a well-established production music library. Gordon, I can't play the reference tracks because of copyright issues. No, it's not for label. It's for sync. No, it wouldn't be cheaper for them to use a Bob Marley song. Not even close. Depending on what they were licensing it for, a TV show might be, 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand for a Bob Marley song, whereas a piece of library music might cost them a couple $1,000. All right, 6 of you would forward, 35 would return. It was not. Whoa, where'd my pencil go? My pen. It was a return. And it's not a bad track, but it instantly didn't sound authentic. Music libraries sign tracks that they think will get a lot of licenses that will be placed in a lot of different things. If you were looking for music, to play in a themed restaurant on a cruise ship, that would probably work. If you were a library owner, you're going to look for stuff that's more authentic because you could license it for a TV show, for a major film. You could license it at Disneyland for an attraction. There are all kinds of things. So production music library owners tend to sign what they think will make them the most money, not something that is great for a particular thing, unless that particular thing is right there in front of their face and needs music right now. They may go, oh, this works great for that. Generally speaking, they are looking for stuff that has a very wide array of possibilities for getting licensed. Okay. Peter Rahill needs more weed. That's not surprising. All right. Hang on one second. Hey, Liz, can you tell Ashmita to shut her door, please? I can hear her in the studio while she's on the phone with somebody. Thank you. Okay, let's listen to Around the Way. F, if you would forward that, that was called Around Away. F for forward, R for return. Greg Carrozza had asked for instrumentals. Didn't say cues. Usually when they want cues, they will actually say cues. The instrumentals get used, sometimes for the same stuff that cues would, other times for other stuff. Oh, goody, the garbage trucks are late today, so they're here while I'm broadcasting. It's been a rough day so far. We're only 26 minutes into the show. Should instrumentals also have breakpoints? Yeah, but I mean, anything is more usable if it's got edit points, not breakpoints technically, but edit points. And frankly, you don't need, as I pointed out in last week's show, you don't need a rest to have an edit point. You just need a beat that you can get right in front of and cut on that. And remember, don't forget the law of reciprocity, which means whatever you're cutting on, there's my diagram for the day. That horizontal line is music playing, and that vertical line is an edit point. So if you're going to cut, you cut right there, right on it. You just need that other thing to show up somewhere else that you're going to cut to. You don't need to have a rest. And it's funny, better production, Jason, you don't need better production. I guess my point wasn't well made with Bob Marley and the gang, other than the fact that they had gym bags full of weed. But it's reggae, real reggae does not have great production. Okay, so 16 forwards, 4 returns, and this was actually a forward. Interesting that you guys were split on this one. To me, it sounded like a very usable track. If I were a library owner, could I license this? It's funny, I was changing channels last night. I wasn't streaming, I was actually watching real TV last night, and I saw Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Oh, no, that was Hawaiian. Never mind. But, let's say you're making a movie and the mom and dad and the kids are walking through the lobby of the hotel to go get into a golf cart and go on a little tour or go to the beach or something. Could this be playing in the background as they're walking through the lobby, or they sit down for breakfast with their ocean view and their whatever you drink in the Bahamas or Jamaica or the Caribbean? Yeah. If I wanted an authentic track, really, really authentic, like I was doing something about a reggae band, this wouldn't cut it. There's a movie called Forgetting Sarah Marshall. It's actually a very cute movie, probably 15 years old. And for that type of usage, I don't know. I liked it. To me, it felt usable. Pat Wara gets it. Pat, we're of similar vintage. We like the same stuff. Anyway, I probably would have forwarded that one, although it didn't sound as dirty and kind of poorly recorded as a lot of authentic reggae might sound. But this is for reggae/Caribbean instrumentals, okay? Very cool channel. Thank you. Learning a lot. Great, Jason. Is this your first time here? Because we work really hard to teach you guys a lot of stuff, and hopefully it sticks. Yeah, subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss this stuff, because we've been doing it for like, I don't know, 13 years or something, pretty much every week. Okay, moving on. This one is called Party in Bermuda. Is Bermuda in the Caribbean? I've been to Bermuda. I remember lots of like sherbet pink, sherbet green, sherbet yellow colored houses with white limestone roofs. And do you know they get a lot of their drinking water runs down the limestone roof, which is kind of a terraced roof, and into barrels on the side of the house. And running down the limestone actually purifies the water. I went to speak to the Bermuda Songwriters Association, hoping that I could squeeze in a day of fishing the day following the thing. And nicest people, had a great time with them. And the next day they arranged for me to go out on tour, a boat with 2 or 3 of them. It was like 50 degrees and pouring rain. We didn't even get a line in the water, froze our butts off. Not a fun day, but the effort was very much appreciated. Okay, this is Party in Bermuda. Whoa, what was that? All right, cast your votes. F for forward, R for return. I can see by the velocity of which the R's are rolling in which way this is going to go. Somebody put, is that a T? Rob Zaccaro put a T in there for, I'm thinking about it, Mon. All right, yeah, so I'm sure you guys are going to nail this one as return. It was pretty obvious. The drums had issues. It had a flute in there that just sounded very inauthentic for the genre. Just all kinds of stuff that made it sound inauthentic. It went too many directions. Then there was that weird modulation and like an edit or something going on almost all the way through it. No idea what was going on there. So yes, this was in fact a return. Sorry to say. Okay. The next one is called Runaway Bay Steelband Party. All right, that one was Runaway Bay Steelband Party. Cast your votes. Forward is an F, R is a return. Yeah, everybody picked up on the fact it had no bass. It's funny. One of the things I noticed back in the day during those Bob Marley sessions was they're not big fans of like a tight, punchy bass that locks on the ones with the kick drum. Their basses tend to be very round and poofy sounding. Yeah, you guys nailed this one. Jesse J. Peck, good to see you in there, buddy. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see your face, even though it's about 3/8 of an inch wide right now. A little circle. It almost sounded like that was a loop with a melody over it. I'm not sure. There was something that just wasn't working. Okay, that one was clearly not a forward. That was a return. Here's one called Sun Catchers. Whoops, where'd it go? What is going on? I think that's something in the disco playlist. I don't believe that was like that in the track. This track is done too well. See ya, Pat Laura. Okay, forward gets an F, R gets a return. I'm buying my ticket to the islands. That's right. That would be great for a, one of the all-inclusive resort commercials. See, everybody knows. By the way, I had an idea last night while I was working on the success stories. It's amazing how many of our members have success stories that just don't bother to tell us. And a lot of times they go way deep and way long. For instance, somebody that got a song forwarded 10 years ago. They were a TAXI member for a year or two. They got a song forwarded, ended up in a library. And since that time, 10 years ago, that library has asked that person to produce 6 different albums of 10, 11, 12 pieces of music each, and that they've gotten hundreds of placements over those 10 years. How many of them did we hear about? 0. I'm making up an example there, but this happens every day. And then when we get this stuff in from people like Carrozza, he's become a friend of mine over the last few years. I had no idea he had 1,000 placements or that his stuff is in 50 libraries. I knew that he was getting placements, that he had stuff 32 forwards, 1 return. There you go. Pretty obvious. Those of you who voted for a forward, you were right. Yeah, baby. Anyway, and I'm reading this thing as I was double checking the stuff that was being shipped off to the final editor for the newsletter, going, what could I do to encourage TAXI members to let us know about their successes? So I am pondering. I'm not making an absolute proclamation here because I have to work out a couple kinks. But something like if you guys send an email reporting signing to library, placement in a TV show, movie, TV commercial, whatever, that we will print them all out in pieces of paper. So the more you send, the more pieces of paper you have in the hat. And at the, somewhere around September, we draw one of those pieces of paper out of the hat, and whoever gets picked at random, live on TAXI TV, by the way, gets a free plane ticket anywhere within the contiguous 48 states to the road rally in November. So there you go. Just letting you know. What do you guys think about that idea? Can you just make something up? No, because we know the companies. And if you say, I signed with this company, we'll be able to verify it. Well, there you go. I will be sending a success story. Just found out I got a primetime CBS Thursday night show thanks to TAXI. Well, there you go. Great example. And that's going to be a big dollar back end because that's primetime on a broadcast network. Yay. I've got to also say that last night, I would say 80% of the success stories that I looked at all mentioned TAXI TV and the road rally as being extremely contributory to their successes. Let me read you this. You know what? I am going to read you guys one right now. Can I find it? TAXI transmitter. There we go. Success story updated. Okay. Brace yourselves. This is Carrozza. We can talk about him now because he's not here. We're behind his back. Here's an awesome note from Greg. I surpassed 1,000 placements in TV shows and TV commercials, and it's all thanks to TAXI. Every one of those placements is directly tied to forwards and connections I made with music libraries and collaborators at the TAXI Road Rally. Through those relationships, I now have over 900 tracks signed across 50 different publishers and libraries. My music is currently playing on more than 100 channels in the U.S., in over 40 countries worldwide. You can hear it on shows like Catfish, Dancing with the Stars, Growing Up Hip Hop, Love Island, Queer Eye. Could you imagine if you didn't live on this planet and you arrived in a flying saucer and you heard that these were the names of TV shows? Growing Up Hip Hop, Love Island, Queer Eye, and all the Real Housewives shows during NFL, NBA, MLB, Major League Baseball, and NHL, National Hockey League games, and in TV commercials for major brands like Samsung and Hyundai. Definitely didn't happen overnight, but I learned everything I need to know about writing music for TV from TAXI's listings, the feedback I receive from your screeners, and by watching TAXI TV every week. I also made lifelong friends at the Road Rally, people I can't wait to see every year. They are my tribe. I truly owe my entire sync career to TAXI. I don't think there's anywhere else I could have gotten the knowledge and connections I needed to succeed. So there you go. Greg Carrozza, ladies and gentlemen. Nice going, Grego. And thank you for sending that in. Why more people don't let us know, and here's the real reason that you should be doing it. Pay attention. This is really important stuff. This is career-changing advice right here for you, folks. Where did I go? There I am. We post the success stories on our website. Guess who goes on our website? And in our forum, people who own production music libraries, music supervisors. I can't tell you how many times over the years that library owners and friends of mine who are soups have said, yeah, I checked out this guy's music because I kept seeing him popping up on your success stories. Went and checked out. He's great. So I Googled him, emailed him, and now he writes for my library. So by hiding yourself, you are preventing opportunities. This brings up another thing which I want to talk about very briefly because I'm not wasting time, but spending time on this. And that is people will go on social media and say, I just got a big placement in a TV commercial. Thank you, XYZ Production Music Library, which I understand. They want to give the library credit and give them a high five and attaboy in public. But what they're doing is taking the 1,000 people, 5,000, whatever number of people see that post that aren't your friends, that aren't TAXI members, that aren't professionally oriented people with good music business etiquette. They're going to go, oh, that library got a musician a really good placement in a TV show or a big commercial. I'm going to Google that library and bug the living crap out of them. And then the library says, dude, leave me alone. Where'd you hear about me? Oh, from that person who posted on their thing. So you're only creating competition for yourself, the potential for bad juju to come back and bite you in the butt. The libraries, I'm sure, would appreciate a heartfelt email that just says, can't thank you enough for getting me for that placement. And they're smart enough to know that if you are if you are giving them props online, they probably don't want their name out there because they don't want to get barraged with wake up to 100 emails with songs attached to them. Brobe asks, is there a place for artists in sync? Though I feel like it's more for producers. Nobody is looking, oh, can you find me a great singer? I need somebody with a great singer. They're looking for finished music that is ready to go and could be placed in a scene in a movie. They're not looking for demos that they would have to wait for somebody to finish the demo and turn into a master. They're looking for finished music that they can license and put in a scene. Wow, that's funny. We're still getting a couple of R's showing up. Okay. We had a Law & Order SUV promo that ran all last year through a library we signed through TAXI. See, I didn't know that. And now you're telling me in the chat room, you guys. appreciate it. But, this isn't where do we go to collect that information. Please take that and send it to deals@taxi.com or memberservices@taxi.com. How many other library owners or soups would be... You get instant credibility by having placements like that. So why not let people know? But I'm telling you, when you put it out there, I know it's heartfelt, and I understand it. I really do. You want to give props to the library. But you are just causing them to get barraged, potentially creating competition for yourself. Now, you may say, well, we do this kind of music, and not a lot of other people do that. But sooner or later, somebody will. So you may have owned a category in a certain genre for that library. I don't know, let's say reggae, and you are the king of reggae music, instrumental reggae for production music libraries, at least XYZ library. And now because you have leaked the library's name and LinkedIn and social media all over the place, now you've got a bunch of other people. Maybe they're submitting orchestral, maybe they're submitting country, maybe they're submitting sports rock, whatever. Sooner or later, they're going to tell a friend. And the friend's going to tell a friend, and before you know it, it's gone geometric out to the world. And now you've got a whole bunch of other people's reggae music in that genre of that catalog or many catalogs, and it got there because you told everybody the library's name. So just saying, don't make it easy for competition. I don't want to be ungenerous about it, because TAXI is an organization and our members are incredibly generous with their knowledge. Anyway, send us your deals. We love to hear about them, and I would love to give somebody a free plane ticket to our convention, which is November 6th through the 9th right here in Los Angeles this year. People overwhelmingly said that last year's was the best one we'd ever done. I believe that. Really, really, we could feel it. The staff could feel it, and we got a lot of feedback from people saying that they loved it as well. Okay, let's move on and listen to some country songs that were for sync. Now remember, big difference between country... got tickle. Big difference between country songs that work in sync and country songs that work for hit records on the row. The biggest difference is that country songs for hit records are, have a lot of what they call furniture on Music Row. Furniture means, thank you. I use this example to the point where it's getting ridiculous. I walked into the smoky bar with peanut shells on the floor. I saw her icy blue eyes and golden hair from across the room. Everything is described, very descriptive, because the songwriter's trying to invite you in to the world where that song and that story are taking place. And it's a story most of the time, right? Okay, so if you've got a story and all that detail and you're trying to put that country song in a movie, and somebody's walking into a bar and it's an outdoor barbecue bar, 4 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon, and it's not smoky because it's outside, and there's no peanut shells on the floor, and the character doesn't have icy blue eyes and blonde hair. So there are all those ways that a story and a lot of description, a lot of details, you can lose it. You can lose that placement. So production music libraries are in the business to make money with your music. They are your partner. You get half, they get half of the money. So they're looking to sign the music, not because, I love that song. It's a great song. Great song doesn't matter as much as that's a song that a lot of people could license. That's how you and they make money. So just saying, that's kind of a different standard, whereas in Nashville, you need that story, you need the details. So let's have a listen. And I did audition 2 of these before when I was checking out my audio, and I'm sure that we'll hear some detail in these. Here's an interesting thing. about country music getting placed in TV shows and movies. I think most of us know, but maybe not everybody knows, there are times that your music gets licensed. It may play for 2 minutes and 13 seconds in a bar scene, but it's down so low in the mix because it's 75 feet away on the other side of the bar, coming out of a jukebox, and the camera is this close to the actor's face, and these two people are having a conversation. Their faces are as high as the screen in the movie theater or on your 85-inch TV at home. And you can hear every word they're saying because the dialogue's important. The music is not important. Your song is not the star. It's not a hit record in the context of that scene. So it can barely be heard. But yet it's got the right tempo and kind of the right mood and attitude for that scene. Maybe they're falling in love. And so you want a song that doesn't sound dark and depressing. You want something that sounds like, just musically from across the room, barely noticeable, but still it enhances that feeling of, oh, they're so cute, they're falling in love. So keep that in mind. You can't be so black and white when judging country music for film and TV. There are times you can say, well, can't forward that one because it says Rocky Mountains in there somewhere. Some library may hear it and go, it's got the right vibe, it's got the right attitude. I don't care that it says Rocky Mountains because there's still plenty of times where it's going to be licensed for background source music, meaning ostensibly in the context of that movie or TV show, it's coming from a source like a jukebox or speakers in the ceiling, in a lobby somewhere. So just know it's not what do they call that? Not a black and thank you, Liz. I was going to get there. Liz is telling me to read the details. Anyway, there you go. Little education. Lots of top 40 style country songs with male or female vocalists needed by exclusive music licensing company. Lots of great placements in film and TV. Searching for a bunch of mid to up-tempo songs that could be found on a playlist with the following examples. And remember, I can't play the references on the show because copyright, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. Boys Back Home by Dylan Marlowe and Dylan Scott. Day Late and a Buck Short by Julia Cole. Hometown Home by Locash. Please submit original country songs with a modern sound. I'm stressing some words that I think are important. Lots of energy and loads of top 40 appeal. Your submission should have catchy choruses and melodies, modern country motifs, engaging rhythms, solid arrangements, and honest, well-crafted lyrics. Instrumentation and production in the general stylistic wheelhouse of the references will work best for this request. Please make sure that any virtual instruments or samples you use are high quality and not dated sounding. Compelling and warm and well-performed vocals, male or female, with a great mainstream country sound are the way to go. Lyrics should avoid, and this is in virtually all listings for songs for film and TV, listings should avoid using specific names, dates, times, places, brands, or profanity. Do not copy the reference songs, blah, blah, blah. That's all kind of boilerplate, no AI. Company offers an exclusive deal, 50-50. So there you go. Let's see if there's anything else in there. Nope. Okay, so to me, good starting point for analyzing that particular request is top 40 style country songs. Let's have a listen. Let us listen to, this one's called Highway to My Heart.
Close your eyes, picture me in the light of your daydream. Hold the thought, hold your breath. Oh, feel your heart beating in your chest. no slowing down. Drive on the highway to my heart. 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 Every road's a one-way to me.
Okay, F for forward, R for return. Liz, I would strongly suggest that you listen all the way through these babies before sending me the list, because frankly, it's a little embarrassing. We're a music company playing stuff. Maybe it checks out fine your computer, but it didn't make it to mine sounding that way. Okay, forward or return, obviously, everybody knows that's a forward. Not only was it well written, I would say that the lyrics were almost universal throughout. I don't think there were any particulars that really jumped out at me. And it had that vibe, highway to your heart, you know, couple falling in love. There's so many scenes that could be played. It's just, yeah, if I were a library owner, I would pick up the phone, I would call that taxi member and say, do you have 10 more like that or 20 more like that? It's great. It could be disco. I don't know. All right. So, yeah, we don't even need to count that one. I'm not sure it was a key change. I mean, we've had that same key change in other songs. Yeah, I don't think it's intended to be that way. It's kind of odd. All right, let's listen to another one. This one is called You're Not Here. Are you ready? Yep.
I took a shot after coming to, tossed the empty bottles of beer. I lit a half-burned cigarette, ain't the same, you're not here. I walked to work, having crashed the car, driving drunk, I hit it gall darn dear. At 5 o'clock, stopped bio duels, ain't the same, you're not here. You're not here to make me smile, you're not here to dry my tears. I've loved you since the day we met, life is over if you're not here. It's been 15 years, not a day's gone by, we haven't kissed before our first cheers. You must miss the little things we used to do, ain't the same, you're not here. You're not here to make me smile, you're not here to dry my tears. I've loved you since the day we met, life is over if you're not here. When I finally realized that you were gone, I was overcome with fear. My only hope is that you'll come around, my life is over if you're not here. You're not
I cut it off.
He said,
Sorry. Great song. Forward, if you would forward it. R for return. F for forward. R for return. Yeah, a lot of you, or at least some of you, are echoing the sentiment that I too believe, and I would say it's a great song. Pretty inspired by Willie. It is not top 40 from today's radio. Would some library somewhere sign this for the day when a music supervisor says, I need a song that sounds like Willie Nelson, it's got his vibe, but doesn't rip him off? This thing would be an easy solution to that request. Excuse me. People go, oh my gosh, you guys forwarded me to a production music library and they signed it 30 returns, 2 forwards. That makes sense. And we don't forward stuff because we like it. We forward it because it fits the brief that the company sent us. If you go to a diner and you order 2 eggs sunny side up with a side of vegan bacon, and they bring you 2 eggs over hard with the side of real bacon, could be an awesome meal, but it's not what you ordered. You're not going to eat that bacon if you're a vegan, and you wanted sunny side up, and they're not. So that's how the music industry works. People don't change scenes in a TV show or a movie because, oh my God, I love that song. Reminds me of Willie. It's really well done. Love the piano sound, by the way, and the playing. Sadly, just can't use it. So there you go. Tom T. Hall and George Jones. Wow. Steel guitar, one like this. Okay. Anyway, that was a return. Those of you who gave that one an R, certainly not for lack of good writing and quality. That thing will find a home someday. It's not something that's going to get used a lot, but you never know. Could end up in a major motion picture. Could end up in Tecovas Cowboy Boots commercial. That could be a $30,000 payday. You never know. Eggs and vegan bacon. I didn't even think about that. Eggs not vegan, right? Shows you how much I don't know, which is quite a bit, actually. Peaches and a couple other people have said a garage candidate. Absolutely. For those of you who don't know, we are working on a thing called the Taxi Garage for just that sort of thing. There's some times where we couldn't forward that. But if a library needed something that was in the Willie category, they could go into the garage. We will be running listings for the garage, but it won't be for a specific request. It's just, do you have music that some production music library or some music supervisor somewhere could use? If so, you can park it in the Taxi Garage. Maybe they'll find it there someday. There's more to that, but I don't want to take the time to talk about it right now. Let's listen to this one called Midnight on the Highway. I'm all tangled up. Here we go. Midnight on the Highway. Yeah, baby.
I got my cowboy boots on my favorite jacket pulled tight, headed out tonight neath the pale moonlight. My pickup's humming to the rhythm and rhymes. Got a one-way ticket, but I'm running out of time. The winds are calling, the road's my friend. It'll take me further than I've ever been. I'm leaving behind all the city lights, chasing freedom down these endless nights. It's a midnight, top of a high-speed ride with them stars twinkling and my guitar by my side. Ain't no looking back, just a front seat view. song. Why, it's an old George Jones tune, play it along. The road's getting rough, but I don't mind, 'cause I'm living for the moment, leaving my past behind. It's midnight, time for a high-speed ride with them stars twinkling in my guitar by my side. Ain't no looking back, just a front seat view. My heart's on fire and my foot on the gas. You see, I'm long gone, there ain't no stopping me. Midnight on the highway, it's where I'm meant to be. So roll them windows down, let the wind scream loud. I'm breaking all the rules away from the city crowd. Got my dreams before me and my demons in the rear view. I'm leaving it all behind, coming home to you. It's midnight, time for me. Midnight on the highway, it's where I'm meant to be. Where I'm meant to be. Midnight on the highway, it's where I'm meant to be. Where I'm meant to be.
All right, cast your votes. F for forward, R for return on that one. Yeah, I can't believe somebody that put that much work into it sent out a distorted mix. I think it's a disco problem. We're having a tough time with disco today. Midnight is early. Real cowboys that stay till 2 to 4 a.m. Maybe on a Saturday night, but they're getting up at the crack of dawn the next morning to go herd cattle or something. Hello, buffering, my old friend. Am I saying disco sucks? No, actually, I'm not. I get the joke, but no, disco, I think, is the best solution out there that we've worked with. Jesse J. Peck, I agree. It's kind of a Keith Urban vibe. 22 forward, 16 returns. Almost a split decision, but those of you who had it marked as a forward, you are correct. Good job, you guys. Okay, let me play you another one. This one's called Ready or Not.
You're sure it won't happen, and I'm not ever gonna say when, but I'm gonna make you fall in love. It'll hit you out of the blue. You know I'll be surprising you, yeah. I'm gonna make you fall in love. You got everything I need. Without you, I'm not gonna leave. I've waited too long, it's always felt wrong, but you were meant for me. Oh, I'll make a mark on you if it's the very last thing I do. No, it's never gonna stop. Ready or not, you're gonna fall in love. I said you're gonna fall in love.
type an F for a forward, an R for a return. I'm curious to see how you guys vote on this one. I'm not curious anymore. Those Fs are flying in. I'm not a pirate? What the hell does that mean? I think the lyrics are fine for sync. I personally think this one, any library would be proud to have it. And the lyric, ready to fall in love. I mean, it's a topic that appears everywhere. It's very, very usable, I think. Sounds more pop than country, a pirate would say. Rawr. Funny, we used to have an old friend of mine who was an A&R guy from Scotland, and he chain smoked cigarettes. And I had him on panels probably 3 or 4 times at the Road Rally, like 10 years ago. And he talked like this. Couldn't understand a word the guy said. So every time he responded to something on a panel, it's usually like an A&R listening panel, I would have to turn around to the audience and translate. I played golf with him often enough that I could understand him better than most people, but it was pretty funny. 48 forwards, 4 returns. The forwards, you guys are A&R geniuses. You got it right. Just now got 3 forwards. Yay, Dominic. Nice going. Okay. Played that one. I like the title of this one. Titles matter. Whiskey and Bones. Let's have a listen and see about this one.
Another night, another crowd and blinding lights. Keep my mind from thinking for a while. I strum the final chord, I'm more numb than before. Drink a bottle just to pass the time. I'm sure that you think life out on this road is something that it ain't, 'cause you don't know. I'm just whiskey and bones, a skeleton of feelings, lost and all alone. Whiskey and bones, wishing we were well to fix our broken home. Whiskey and bones. Another night, this motel room was quiet. Visions of you running through my mind. Your face looks worn and tired, but you're beautiful despite it. I wonder if you're hiding things inside. I'm sure that you think life out on this road is something that it ain't, 'cause you don't know. I'm just whiskey and bones, a skeleton of feelings, lost and all alone. Whiskey and bones, wishing we were willing to fix our broken home. Whiskey and bones.
Killer guitar sounds all over this.
I'm sure that you think life out on this road is something that it ain't, 'cause you don't know. I'm just whiskey and bones, a skeleton of feelings lost in all alone. Whiskey and bones, wishing we were with to fix our broken home. Whiskey and bones, wishing we were still the better times we've known. Whiskey and bones.
All right. Cast your votes. F for a forward, R for a return. Where was it? Somebody else commented. A couple people, I think, commented about this. There were a couple variations of this line. You looked stressed and tired, but you're beautiful despite it. Wow. The other one was something like tired and wrinkled, but still beautiful. Whatever it was, all I could imagine was waking my wife up in the morning and saying that, you look wrinkled and tired, but beautiful despite all that. I would be eating breakfast by myself, eating lunch out of the house, probably not invited to dinner, definitely sleeping in the guest room. My wife is a pretty tough lady, but she wouldn't like that. Got stuck in traffic, then I locked out of my car. My gosh, Marion, AAA rescued me. What do you mean you can't chat and drive? Marion, come on, suck it up. Be a champ. All right. Waiting for the tally on this one. Then we're going to listen to one called Ready or Not. There it is. We did? We already heard Ready or Not? Oh. I didn't check it off on my list? My goodness. All right. Well, let's listen to this one. Oh, Ready or Not was the one with the cute female voice, right? 15 forwards, 13 returns. Almost, even Steven on that one, close to it. That one was, in fact, a return. So those of you who voted for returns, you guys have the more fine-tuned ears. There's a lot to love about that. It isn't, I don't want to say names. We don't give out the names when we do these shows where we're doing A&R Hot Seats. But I would say that there are places this could get used, but it had a lot of story in it. And it definitely didn't sound like top 40. So, maybe somebody's working on a show that takes place like Landman, that takes place in, the Houston area, roughly, oil rig territory. And it's modern, it's contemporary. You could ostensibly walk into a bar and hear something that sounded older, or you could be riding in a car. More likely, the music that's going to get played in a modern setting is going to be music of today, unless it has to serve the purpose of setting a tone by being something old and salty like Willie, or, road worn, whatever. Most of the time, it's going to be contemporary. Is somebody not being nice again? Glad that other gentleman left. He was being a little weird. Okay. Which one did I say I was going to play? How we doing? We got 2 minutes left. Let's try this one. Something Out of Nothing.
try. Wish upon a falling starlit night, hoping you might find your dreams, maybe with somebody like me. That's just what I did, baby. I manifested you that way. That's how you got here, girl. That's why you're here today. We made something out of nothing, working real hard just to get things right. With a little bit of trust and love, it's making our world ignite. It's all about you and me. Whatever we're doing, whatever we need, we sure did make a lot of something out of nothing. Oh, oh, yeah, baby. We could live off an old dirt road or in some concrete jungle till we're older than old. Maybe on some tropical beach or a big old mountain where the snow gets deep. It doesn't matter, baby, but we're in it all the way. Love is gonna get us there. It got us here today. We made something out of nothing, working real hard just to get things right. With a little bit of trust and love, it's making our world ignite. It's all about you and me. Whatever we're doing, whatever we need, we sure did make a lot of something out of nothing. Oh, oh, yeah, baby. It doesn't matter, baby, but we're in it all the way. Love is gonna get us there. It got us here today, yeah. We made something out of nothing, working real hard just to get things right. With a little bit of trust and love, it's making our world ignite. It's all about you and me. Whatever we're doing, whatever we need, we sure did make a lot of something out of nothing. Oh, oh, yeah, baby. Yeah. Something out of nothing.
F for forward, R for return. The voice is sounding like AI. It could be. I mean, there was a little strangeness in the voice, but I've got the song. I'm always thinking from how usable is it? Where would I use this? If I were an editor, if I were a music supervisor, I could see a half a dozen scenes. Mom and dad dropping their kid off at college. They just bought a first house. Beautiful little, 2,000 square footer on 5 acres out in the country with a little bass pond out back. And here they are admiring, pulling the for sale sign out of the front yard. There are a lot of stories that could go with this, but it didn't actually kind of tell a linear story. So I think it's very usable. Yeah, absolutely. Listening to the radio, driving in the car. I'm listening in earbuds, like 15-year-old earbuds, but they actually sound pretty good. I love the mix on that. I was listening carefully, and I wasn't listening so much for balance, which I guess is a pretty important part of a mix, but I could hear. I remember thinking whoever mixed this is a professional because they understood subtractive EQ. There was a piano in my right ear that all you could hear were the parts you were supposed to hear. I mean, just little touches that professional engineers do. I think that says 31 forwards, 0 returns. So yeah, that was a forward. All right. I think we get the idea. Not as easy being a taxi screener as one might think, right? There are always things to consider, and it's not just about, do I personally love this song? Is it a potential hit? I mean, for film and TV, potential hit just doesn't matter. It's about the usability factor. Can I imagine this in a lot of scenes? What kind of scenes would it work in? For a music library, that's their goal, is to sign stuff that's got a high usability factor and can ultimately make them a lot of money. And you, if they make a buck, you make a buck. Yeah, a little different when you're a music supervisor. You're looking for something that works within that. Every scene has a tempo. Is it a slow moving? I'm not talking about like a drum tempo or a song tempo, but scenes have a tempo to them, right? They have a vibe. This is a very happy day, uplifting scene. This is a very dark scene. This is a very contemplative scene. So you have to think about when you're choosing a song as a music supervisor, does it work in the context of the whole thing? Does it not only work, does it help it? If I'm looking for this scene to really make the point that this character is being super contemplative, does this song make that resonate a little more with the viewers? All these things go into it. It's not about, hey, that's a good song. So there you go. Anyway, you guys did pretty good today, right? Anybody go, I don't even know how many we played all together, but did anybody get them all correct? I would love to hear about that. It's funny, you guys, really, I agree with Bruce. Can we do this type of episode on a monthly basis? I learn a lot from these. Wow. I'm so glad Mary Fisher got them all correct. Good going, Mary. Wow. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed this. I really am. Okay, I'll try and do more of them. Next week. Don't miss that show. I still have to work out a lot of technical things, but hopefully if we can get those worked out, I will be joined by Greg Carrozza, who was in the chat room earlier today. And we're going to do a thing where he shows us live and in real time, assuming I can get the tech worked out, how to break out stems. And stems are important. Stems are, from my era, it's a submix. It's like just the vocals. Give me just the background vocals. Give me the lead and background vocals. Give me anything percussive. Give me just the guitars. Give me bass drums and guitars. All these different variations so that the end user, TV commercials tend to do this more than TV shows, maybe. And that's because the editors and TV shows have to work so quickly. But stems are really important because you may think a song is so right for the vibe of whatever scene and whatever type of media you're putting it in, but something just feels a little too thick. Like, we don't really need the bass and drums for this scene. It almost is too much. What about if we just had the acoustic guitar, the vocal, and the background vocals? Well, they don't have the time to call up the person who has that song and say, can you mix it for me? You know, they're in a time crunch all the time. They're in the moment all the time. So if they've got stems, they could just pull up the vocals and the acoustic guitars, and there's their mix. They pull all the faders up to the 0 marking on their channel strip, and all the levels will be where they were when the engineer mixed it. So there you go. That's a really down and dirty and short description of what stems are and why they're important. But Carrozza will join me next week. So we'll either pre-tape some of that stuff like I did with the edit point stuff the other day, or we will be able to do it live. But it'll be very educational. Don't forget to send your deal stuff to deals@taxi.com or member services@taxi.com. Let us know. We'd really appreciate it. And I will I'm having a rough week this week. The first 3 days of this week are just stuff exploding all over the place. But I will try and get it together to get out an email, make a formal announcement that we will give away a free plane ticket to the Taxi Road Rally from the lower 48, as they are often called. I would love to do that, and it would make us work a lot less hard to come up with success stories. So yay on that. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Liz. Good night, everybody. See you next week. Oops, I need my earbuds for this. See you next week for another. Oh, don't forget to check out our social media. Instagram, TikTok. We just started a TikTok channel a few months ago. It's actually growing fast, even though it's really small. But we do daily brief updates with me basically sitting here at this desk in that room or one of the other rooms, telling you what the 3 listings are that are posted that day. And while we're not getting huge numbers, it is people are liking it and it's being helpful. This way, if they're in their car and they don't want to be reading an email about what the 3 listings are for that day, they can hear about it. So check that out. Go to taxi.com and click on the little icons to get to our socials. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye from Los Angeles. Thank you, Alan. Thanks for watching from the UK. TikTok sucks. Kind of a necessary evil when you're trying to market stuff. And Katrina from the land down under, yay. Bye-bye, you guys.